And we are back for more RimWorld. Let's see what Jonathan Bing gets up to today. We'll let him wake up when he feels like it. I see no reason to disturb his sleep. He needs it. He's got a tough few days ahead of him. 8 a.m. How long is John going to sleep? 9 a.m.? 10 a.m.? There we go. Right, he's up. We don't actually want him to harvest this heal root, so I'm just going to remove the order here because right now there's no one to treat him if he does get hurt anyway. So let's prioritize getting him some food. There's a berry bush up here with berries ready to harvest. But the food situation is getting quite dire. I think we probably want to plant some kind, like maybe some potatoes today. I think, I believe we'll be able to do that. Let's see if we can. Yeah, we can make a growing zone. Yeah, starvation is John is already starving. So we'll make a let's make a pretty hefty potato patch here. It's not going to help us today, but we're planning ahead. We're planning for the future. All these berries are nearly ready to harvest as well. He's just going to eat these straight away. The problem is I don't want to risk trying to kill any wild animals without a weapon. Because without a weapon, John is probably just going to get hurt. And we don't want that at all. Now, because John's got an interest in plants here, he should learn how to garden quite quickly. So he should be able to get a good grasp on that relatively soon. We need to do everything, and we've only got one person. And that person also needs to not die. So even though he's had those berries, he's still only 40% full. Because it's not a good meal. I'm just going to check to see if there's any dead animals nearby. If an animal's just died for some reason. Because if an animal has just collapsed for some other reason, or if a predator's got it, we could just steal it. So let's have a look and see if anything's died. Okay, so this warg, so there's a warg over here, has just killed and eaten a rabbit, but that's not very helpful for us. We could try to kill this turkey, but it's quite close to this warg, and I think the warg will make short work of John. So let's try and avoid that part of the world for now. Alright, the planting's going pretty well. So I'm going to just prioritize certain types of work here. So plant cutting is not the most important thing. Growing food, we need to make sure these potatoes are looked after. This area might be a bit too big. I might restrict that actually. Because otherwise it's going to take all day. So we're just going to cut off that much of the growing zone. So because this should be a good amount of potatoes still. What's John doing now? Praying. Okay. Not the most useful thing you could be doing, John, but needs must. We need some more wood so that we can start building things. So I am going to order for some more wood chopping to be done. Let's chop those trees down. And as I was saying, growing is the most important thing. Mining is relatively important. Building, if I give him anything to build, I want him to build it immediately. I'm only going to be giving him construction jobs that are urgent. So for now, that seems like a good way to do it. If he's not building, he's growing. If he's not growing, he's mining. And then at that point, he can start focusing on other things. John's already really hungry. Let's, are these berries ready? These berries are ready. Perfect. So he can have some more berries. Really do need to get a better source of food going on. For the time being, we'll just have to make do with what nature will provide us. I'm worried that we're going to have to start straying further and further from home to get food. And the Mega Sloth still just hanging out. More berries nearby as well. And John continuing to diligently plant potatoes here. I think once we get him a stove, and once he's able to cook proper meals for himself, this hunger issue will be slightly reduced. So that will be nice. I think we'll probably just have one big house for now, rather than building separate buildings, just to make use of the walls we've got and save ourselves some resources. But we can add a sort of cooking area up here near the potatoes, so we can just go potatoes to the cooking area, into bed. John here, off to cut down some trees. We need that wood. That wood will help us build more things, and the next construction project will be up here. In fact, that makes me want to get rid of these trees anyway, because we're going to be building here soon anyway. Get rid of them. And we can probably reduce some of the tree cutting down here. Because the less he has to haul things around, the better. He'll have some more berries here. This poor guy. He's so hungry. And I'd be hungry. You know, he's built a whole house and he's been punching a wall with his hands, chopping down trees with his bare hands. It's an impressive feat. I'll give him that. I am worried about him though. So these potatoes that we planted today are 8.5% grown. So I'm assuming potatoes are going to take about 10 days to grow. But it will be a good day when the harvest comes in. As long as John's still alive to reap the benefits of his work, that will be a good day. So we're going to build a little tailor bench here for John so that once we have some materials, we can make some clothes. Because we do need to get him... It'll make him happier. It might even make him a bit safer. I don't know if clothes have some kind of protection element, but you'd expect them to help slightly if he gets attacked by an animal. So he'll just get on that, and we'll make sure he's got something to sit on as well. But just a basic stool should do the job. Nothing too flashy. All right, the tailor bench is ready. So what we can do here is add a bill to make things. Let's check what's actually required. We need patch leather to make that. What do we need just to make some tribal wear? 60 times ingredients. I'm guessing that can be animal ingredients. That seems the most likely. So we will keep an eye out for dead animals. If we find any dead animals, we can butcher them and use their skin to make some clothes here. Speaking of, are there any around? I mean, there's a rat here. We could go and punch this rat. I imagine that's probably not enough to clothe a man, though. On the plus side, John is spending a lot of time outdoors, and he likes that. It's probably not going to boost his mood too much. He's still annoyed about eating without a table, sleeping in the cold, being cold, having an awful bedroom, minor pain, hunger, and being naked. But he's still got low expectations. I'm worried that this will wear off relatively soon, so we do need to make sure that John's okay. And John's up here at 3 in the morning, ready to crack on and build himself a stool. Now, I don't mind John chopping some wood here. We are going to need wood. And him chopping these trees down is ultimately going to be helpful so that we can build the kitchen expansion that I was talking about up here that allows us to bring in potatoes, cook some meals, and maybe even build a table in here just to improve John's quality of life slightly. Where's the mega sloth? It's just down there having a nap. I don't know if you need materials to tame animals. Let's just try... No handler can tame mega sloth. Requires level 9 in animals. Okay, never mind. The dream is dead. So let's set our sights a bit lower. Because we could always try and... This sounds horrible, but we could start trying to tame animals and then just not look after them. Because it will still boost up his animal taming skills. So if we tried, for example, to tame this rat, first off, not much can go wrong because it's a rat. And second off, that could help us level up to the point where we can actually get some good animals. John is at a minor risk of breaking, having a mental breakdown. He's very hungry, so let's stop all of this tree chopping and get this man some berries. This steam geyser could be... Geyser? This steam hole could be a good source of power down the line. Again, assuming we live that long. John here chowing down on some berries, as is his way. Okay, so what I actually want to focus on right now is we do want to clear these trees because we do want to build a bit of an expansion to this house. But we want to build a research station so that we can research the recurve bow and actually build John a weapon here that will allow him to hunt animals and potentially defend himself. So let's start laying the groundwork for that. Like so. So it's going to be quite a substantial project. I quite like, yeah, this looks cool. It's going to be an interestingly shaped room. No, actually, that's a total waste of resources. What am I talking about? There's no need to do any of that. We can use this natural rock as the wall, saving us resources and time. And just do something like this. We'll definitely need another door, so we'll pop one there, and we'll pop one there. And John can start building this. I think he's going to need a bit more wood than we've got at the moment, but, you know, he can get started at least. How much of this can he build? Oh, most of it. Yeah, no, we can probably get all of this done. And then what we're going to put in there is a simple research bench. Now, we don't have enough steel yet, but we'll put it down anyway, so that's where that's going to go. And we will also use this as a kitchen down the line. Right now, we don't really have any food, so it doesn't really matter that we don't have a kitchen, because there's nothing to do with one. So he will need to get back to punching these rocks over here. But it's all starting to come together. The plan makes sense. John's built a nice little enclosure for himself here. It's a delightful place. It's full of grass and there's a tree in the middle of this room, but... oh no, he's getting rid of that. He's had enough. Now, the thing about wooden doors is they do slow you down. Later down the line, you can get powered doors that make sure that everything's working really efficiently. For now, these doors are going to slow John down a bit, and it seems minor, but it is going to impact how much he can do in a day if he's constantly going through these doors. So once he's done praying, and I do want to let him do this because it is increasing his recreation, we can get him over here to keep mining these resources. Alright, John's finished praying, and he's off to go and punch this wall and mine this steel. We only need a little bit to build this research bench. We only need 25 steel. So hopefully this one segment will provide us everything we need. How are his skills doing? So he's about to hit level 2 of mining. There we go. So yeah, you can see how quickly he's learning that. Like, he does get a substantial boost to that skill. Likewise with animals. So once we can start practicing there, we'll be able to train that up. And also, he's got an interest in intellectual, which I believe affects how quickly he researches things. And that is exactly enough steel, +2, to allow us to complete this research bench. He is also going to need something to sit on while he uses that, so we'll put a wooden stool down as well. Alright, John's finished the research bench, so we are now going to make researching a priority when he's not building, growing, or cutting plants. So he should now be off to harvest these berries. Good. I think the key here is that we don't overload him with things to do. We just make sure that we're basically assigning things as and when he needs to do them. Since we're only worrying about one colonist at a time, we can afford to sort of micromanage him a fair bit here. We'll let him cut these berries and eat those. And then the next thing I want him to do, and hopefully he'll just do this on his own, is just start researching recurve bows. So this is probably going to take a while. Yeah. It's going to be a good amount of time before we can actually build the bow. So we'll just try and fit this in whenever he's got free time. I think he can probably spend the rest of the day doing this. Okay, so after about 5 hours of researching recurve bow, John has got 42 out of 400 research points there. So this is going to take a long time. I don't want him to spend the rest of his life doing this. I'm wondering if we just send him to bed. We can't actually manually do that. I guess he'll do that when he wants to. Again, a minor break risk from John. That's not a surprise. I think he's going to spend most of his life in that state. Yeah, so we've kind of got a success story mixed with a story of slow and steady failure here. While we've got this building going and we've got some potatoes growing, we're not safe. We've got no defenses at all. John doesn't even have any socks or anything. He's got no shirt on his back. And he's living off of berries that he scavenges. And he's having to go further and further from home to scavenge those berries. He better not have left them there. Did he eat them? What's he doing? He's going to bed. Is he mad? Oh, I think he botched it. He managed to unsuccessfully harvest those berries. That's problematic. Alright, I found some more berries down here. They're very far away from where we live, so they're over there, and we're over there. But needs must. Could these be harvestable? Yes. Okay, so we've got a nice little cluster of berries down here. I wonder if we can do one big harvest, and if it'll take all of these back in one go. That would be nice. John's sleeping away there, dreaming about times where he had clothes. John, ever the optimist, happy about the size of his room. Okay, great. It's all his. It all belongs to him. But we have a long way to go. Alright, John's woken up and decided to meditate. And while I appreciate the thought, I really hope he then immediately starts harvesting plants. I'll let him do it. It's, you know, It's his choice if he wants to get his recreation up. John, I need you to harvest these berries so that you don't die. If you could stop botching the simple task of harvesting berries, John, that would really help me out here. That's, you know, half a day's food that you've just thrown away. And he's going to get this medicine as well. Okay, that's fair. We can have some herbal medicine sitting around. That's not the end of the world. We might need that. And get back to work. Oh, that's a bad sign usually. Cargo. Oh no, that could be really helpful. We've had some cargo pods crash nearby. With, looks like just medicine. Quite a lot of medicine though. Is that worth a trip? So that's basically on the other side of the map. I don't really think that's worth it, to be honest. It's a big, risky trip. We know there are predators around. And we've got the bushes that grow herbal medicine right here. So I got excited there. I thought it would drop a weapon or a dead person whose clothes we could take, but sadly not. So we'll just crack on with this research. And John's off to bed. He's had a long day thinking about bows. We're actually about a quarter of the way done with that, so we are making progress slowly but surely. And let's see what happens to him tomorrow. And that will do for today. Hope you're enjoying this series. Do let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions to help me out here. I am definitely out of my depth. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.